Mr. Williams, how are you? How are you? Rhett James. Yes, sir. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. So, Mr. Williams, you a baseball fan? Oh, a Mets fan, really? So I bet you're happy about that new Juan Soto deal, huh? Yeah, it is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Listen, Mr. Williams, great to have you back in here. It's great to see you again. And the good news is we're very close to starting that exercise program, sir. Yes, sir. So if you can remember, we did some preliminary stuff, and the great news is we're done with that. So we started with your PAR-Q, which is just the info we needed to determine whether you're even ready for an exercise program, right? Because we have a lot of people who come in with underlying medical conditions or something that limits them from being able to go ahead and start. The good news for you is that you needed no medical clearance at all. Yeah, nothing at risk. The only thing you mentioned was some non-specific joint pain in your lower back and your knees. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel it every single day. That's not going to be too much of a problem at all. We'll be mindful of that when we're making your exercises, and we will include some warm-ups to help you get ready for that. So, the first things first, your resting heart rate. Your resting heart rate is great. It was 72 beats per minute. The average for a 32-year-old male, or healthy range for a 32-year-old male, is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Yours was 72, which is on the lower end of that spectrum, which is just awesome, man. But it can always be improved, but nothing to worry about there at all. The next thing is your resting blood pressure. So a little background on blood pressure. The top number is known as your systolic blood pressure. The bottom number is known as your diastolic blood pressure. The kind of standard that has been in the past years for the medical world is 120/80. That's actually now known as pre-hypertensive, but it's not doesn't mean your blood pressure is high. It's just something you look out for to monitor your blood pressure down the road, because it could be high. Now, your diastolic blood pressure is great. Your left arm was 78 and your right arm was 76. Now, those numbers are just phenomenal. All right. Your systolic is a little bit high. It's not too high. It's nothing to be too worried about. You're not going to die. Nothing too dangerous, right? You're 32 years old. Your left arm was 132. Your right arm was 128. Now, like I said, 120 has been known as that average or healthy blood pressure. It's now known as a little high. So just the fact that you were above that, we're going to have to work to get that down. But nothing to worry. I mean, as long as it's 119/79, right? You don't have a high blood pressure. It's just you're a little bit at risk for it later down the road. And so our exercise program is going to for sure help with that. We did a body composition test. Remember that, with those skin fold calipers, or those weird clampy looking things, kind of pinched a little bit? Yeah. So those are skin fold calipers. And after doing that test, we saw that you had 22% body fat, which is the average range, and I think that's great for you, man. I'm not worried about it at all. I don't think we're gonna have any problems with that. You're good shape, good build. So 22% body fat is pretty good. Your waist circumference, however, 42-inch waist, that is a little bit slightly above average, but we're here for a reason, man. That's gonna go down as our exercise program goes on. Your BMI, which I'll start with this. It's a little bit unreliable of a measurement, or it's not the most reliable of a measurement. Yours is 29, which does put you in the overweight category, but mine is at 27. I'm 6'2", 210. I'm also overweight. Like I said, it's not the most reliable, but it does give us an idea. I'm more worried about that 22% body fat, which is fine, but once again, it's going to go down. All right, now for the fun stuff. Remember doing all this bench pressing and stuff? Yeah. So our muscular strength and endurance, we did 3 tests. We did the bench press 1 rep max, we did the prone plank, and we did the push-up test. The bench press was to measure your muscular strength. Your push-ups were a little bit for strength, but mainly the prone planks and the push-ups were for muscular endurance. So for your 1 rep max bench press, you fell into the 40th percentile. Now, 50 would be about average. So your 40 is just around there. 40 might be a little bit slightly below average, but with our continuous training, that's going to go up. Beginners or people that just start out into weightlifting have been known to make these beginner gains, or their strength and size increases, pretty good amount when they first start out. So that's something to look forward to, right? Prone plank, it was a little bit below average, but it's still very functional. You don't have a weak core. You're not super frail where you can't even get out of bed, or you might get hurt rolling out of bed. But it's below average, but it's very functional, and that will improve. Same thing with your push-up test. You fell into the 35th percentile. It was a little bit below average, but it does indicate some level of upper body strength, which should even be a bigger bright side for you, as well as the bench press that is going to go up as you start out. So you're the 40th percentile in bench, 30th in prone plank, 35th in push-up test. We're going to try to get you at somewhere over 50. Between 55 plus is going to be great if we can get you there. Next thing, Mr. Williams, cardiorespiratory health. All right, that means your lungs, your heart, how it beats, and we measure that with your VO2 max. Remember how you had that? We had that metabolic cart with the TV screen on it. You had that treadmill, all those tight stuff on your face. It was real uncomfortable. We had the mask on. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't a fun experience. I've had it done too. But your VO2 max, basically, if you can remember me telling you this the first time, it shows us how efficiently your body uses oxygen during exercise, which is a great overall test of your fitness levels, your health levels, and it's just a great metric. So yours was 30 milliliters per kilograms per minute. Now, don't worry too much about the units on the end. I want you to worry about the 30, the number. That is low, but it can be improved. Almost everything on this list can be improved through our exercise program. And consistency. It will take some consistency because cardio is not fun. Sometimes, training just can't be fun. But we're going to try to get you between the 40 and 45 range, and as close to that as we can get, the better, man, because that'll really just improve your health, overall health and lifestyle. And honestly, there have been studies that show that the higher your VO2 max, the longer you may live. So it could, in fact, help you to live a little bit longer as well. But then the flexibility. Now, I know flexibility is not a huge thing for us that are, getting a little bit older. It meant more when you were a little kid. I understand. But the biggest thing about your flexibility is that it goes along with your low back pain and your knee pain. The more you stretch, the more we do any kind of like yoga or dynamic stretching, any kind of this flexibility stuff will greatly improve your back pain, your knee pain, and it'll help you get warmed up for our exercise. So our main focus, what we're going to do in this exercise program, after giving you all these metrics, the main thing we're going to focus on is strength training or resistance training. We're going to try to do that 3 times a week. If you miss once every once in a while, it's not a big deal. We can have a make-up day if we need, but 3 times a week is going to be great. Next thing is cardio. Now, this is the hardest thing to stay consistent on, but it's very important that you do. We're going to try to do that 2 to 3 times per week, and don't worry, man, I'm going to make it as easy on you as possible. I'm not going to just bring you in and have you jog on a treadmill for 30 minutes. I know how boring and sucky that is. We're going to try to do some fun stuff, maybe play some basketball, do some jump rope, go on a bike ride, whatever. We're going to try to do things as fun as possible and stay consistent with it, and will greatly improve your VO2 max. I mean, that also goes with beginner gains. You're going to see it go up a little bit, but the consistency part is what's going to keep it climbing and what's going to keep it elevated. So it's very important that you can stay consistent, and sometimes you can do a little extra on your own if you wish, but we're going to do it 2 to 3 times a week with us, okay? This next part is important as well. You're going to have to do a lot of daily stretching and flexibility. We're also going to do that here. We're going to make sure you're properly warmed up so that back is feeling good, your knees are feeling good for any kind of exercise that we do. But any kind of, like I said, any kind of stretching, yoga, mobility, all that kind of stuff, and I'll give you a good plan for that. That's going to help tremendously in your flexibility. But it is another thing you're going to have to stay consistent with. You're going to have to do it every single day, whether you want to do it when you wake up, which you have to get your blood pressure or heart rate up, blood pumping first. Before you do that, you want to stretch it cold. Maybe do some jumping jacks or something fresh out of the shower, get some stretches in, and go to work. You can also do it before you go to bed. Makes you feel great, makes you nice and relaxed before you go to bed. But the main thing is just do it daily. Your diet is going to be a big thing. I'm not going to enforce it, okay? But I do want to be the person. I do want to be the person that works with you, because there's a lot of people on Google and Instagram, all this social media, that tell you all these tips, such as a low carb diet, which is, you need carbohydrates. They are an essential nutrient for your fuel source for your body, and I hate that people just share all these tips and diets that are supposed to work, but they don't really. So it's big that I'm going to be able to work with you for your diet. So and none of this stuff I'm not going to be sending you to all these nice fancy bougie stores, and you're going to be paying a lot of money for all this stuff. You can find any of this stuff at your local market. So lean proteins such as chicken, poultry, or fish, whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, couscous. I know some of those aren't very good, but mainly the rice is what you need. Healthy fats, which I know is weird. Healthy and fat don't really go together, but there are healthy fats. Avocado is one of the biggest ones. And I'm not talking about munching on chips and guacamole all night. I mean, maybe taking some avocado and smearing it on some toast in the morning, or maybe just eating a couple slices with your fruits and vegetables. And even cooking with olive oil or avocado oil will help make your diet a little healthier. Fruits and veggies, you know, I hate to be like your mom, like you're a little kid and telling you to eat your fruits and veggies, but they are necessary. They're very healthy. And this is very important. What you're going to need to do is you need to limit your salt intake. You need to limit your alcohol intake. You need to watch how many sugary drinks such as soda you drink. These are huge about your blood pressure. These could single-handedly help you lower your blood pressure. Combining them with this exercise program we're going to be doing, you'll see some great shape at the end. But they are very important. A couple beers during the week is fine, but you don't need to be excessively drinking. And the next thing is stay hydrated. I know you've heard that since you're a little kid, but it's very, very, very important. Water, fluids, Gatorade. You can even put a little bit of electrolyte packets in your drink every day before you leave. But it's very important that you stay hydrated. It'll just keep you feeling good. You won't get lightheaded. It may even help with your back pain as well. You know, I'm not going to say it will, but it could not hurt. Okay? All right, Mr. Williams, like I said, I'm very excited to start this with you. I mean, it's going to benefit me just as much as it's going to benefit you, okay? And I'm very excited. I hope you're excited as I am. You got any questions for me? All right, Mr. Williams, great to see you.